Hey guys, how you doing? It's Brad with ATREpodcast.com, all things real estate. Got a great show for you today. We've got Lindsey Rose. Now, Lindsey Rose has been a personal matchmaker for 21 years. She owns and operates a video-based online dating site. Lindsey has been hosting film festivals for the past 7 years for the entertainment industry. Lindsey found her passion for matchmaking while watching The Love Connection with her mom. Now, many people may be wondering, isn't this a real estate show? I mean, what's going on, Brad? How does matchmaking and real estate mix? I mean, come on, you guys, it's easy. The happier we are, the more successful we're going to become, right? Now, Lindsey believes that like-minded people matched together have endless possibilities. Welcome, Lindsey. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, that's wonderful. Lindsey, let me ask you, how did you get your first job in matchmaking?
Oh my gosh. So once I realized that this could actually be a profession, I called on a company. And I was 16 years old and asked them if they were hiring. They said, how about you call? I'm sorry, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 16. What's the issue here? They said, how about give us a call once you've had a little bit more life experience? And I didn't take well to that. So I called them 2 weeks later and set up an appointment and scheduled an interview with them and had a job and worked for them all throughout my teens, throughout my 20s, and learned the industry and realized this is what I do. I just love helping people.
You shine when you're helping people. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's nice. And Lindsey, what advice can you give to people that are looking online? Example, is there different advice that you would give like a man versus a woman if they're putting in a dating profile and, the old cliches, I like walking on the beach, I'm sure doesn't work. If you're interviewing someone to be on your site, are you a
Mhm.
selective site?
I am. I'm very picky and selective with who it is that we decide to take on. So we own, when I say we, I have a team of people. We own a datetubelive.com, and that's a free online site. And then we also own Love Potion Agency, where we go on a personal search for you
That's great.
and guide you throughout your process. Now, I will tell you, oftentimes people will say they're really outgoing and they're fun. You read this in profiles, it doesn't convey. It's like, okay, you're fun, you like traveling. Tell me something about what you like traveling about. Where's the last place you went? Tell me you went
Right.
to Ibiza and you had a great time there. Be it descriptive in your profiles, because somebody, you don't want to read through. Everybody's got a great sense of humor and everybody's outgoing and fun.
Oh.
Can make me laugh. So
It's,
I always tell people to create their personality. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead. I interrupted you.
So I just tell people to let their personalities really shine through with who they are, with what it is that they write. And if they're just drab, I tell them, look, this is drab. This is where you're not getting anything. And the women want to upload pictures of what they like to look like.
Right, rather than who they are.
Guess what? That's eventually going to happen. He's going to figure out you're really not a size 2 or size 3.
Yeah.
You so appreciate the person that you are and grow from that and be your authentic self. And the more you're authentic with yourself, the easier it's going to be for you to go through your process of looking for potential suitors.
So, that's a great point. I was gonna, when I rudely interrupted you, I apologize. Um,
You're fine.
I met my wife on a dating site before it was cool, in like 2003. And she literally was like, don't tell anyone. I'm like, no, this is cool. This is great. But before I met her, I would just put stuff on like, I like to walk on the beach. I like to jet ski, blah, blah. And I was just meeting the same old yahoos. It wasn't anything serious.
Yeah,
And
right.
I came to a decision that, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lay it all out there. I'm going to write how I feel and what I want and what I'm looking for, and just really send out the same email to anyone I'm interested in dating, but just, I really want to lay it out there. And I did that. And I swear to you, the quality of people that I started to attract was so much greater because exactly what you said, I was very authentic. The subject line said, I'm looking for serendipity, because I had just watched that movie and I loved it. But
Yeah.
it really worked out because people thought, well, what is serendipity? And they thought about what it meant to them. And I talked about what I wanted. So I really do agree with, I think you have a great service, first of all, and I agree with exactly what you said of being authentic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So that's great. And I love what you said about putting up real pictures, something not what you want to look like, but just put up who you are.
Yeah. Just
You
so
know?
they're going to figure it out eventually. And I will tell you this as well. Men, the first thing they say to me is, Lindsay, I'm just really young at heart. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
boy, we've got a guy who's 62. This is his way, a nice way of saying, I only want to date women 29 to 34. That's like his nice way of saying it to me.
Yeah.
And I just say, okay, so let me ask you. Sure, I could introduce you to those women, but is there going to be longevity there? I don't
Right.
think so. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do a disservice to you, to me, and the women that are involved in that regard. I don't take on those kind of, it's not a sugar daddy type,
No, yeah,
it's
that's a
not
different,
anything
that's a
such as
different
that.
site.
Yeah. So the people that I truly work with are at a place in their life where they're mentally, emotionally, financially stable,
That's nice.
sound heads, they know what they want, they're not into playing games. And I just basically take them by their hand and say, I'm going to walk with you through this process. But it's funny. The guys immediately, the second men tell me they're just yet really young at heart, I'm like, oh boy, I know where
Yeah.
you're going. I already know where you're going with this. This is not
It's
my
fun.
first rodeo.
It's funny because I'm 50 and I always go, I'm like, oh man, I'm old. I just want to hang out. Like, what are you thinking? So let me ask you, what do you think a man or a woman should really say about themselves? I know you said put something in there that's real. What do you think is important for them to convey?
Just really explaining to who they are when nobody's watching, and don't
It's a
don't
great
put
one.
yourself out there to being something that you're not, because people eventually are going to figure that out. That's not really you, and you don't want to attract somebody who's looking for something it is that you're just trying to fabricate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you're trying to be the person that you think they want you to be rather than the person
Than
who
the
you
person
are.
that you are. So
So
then what
yeah,
happen is, yes, you could catch him, but can you keep him? And do you want to keep her? And are you willing to continually put yourself through the ringer? Why not just put everything out there as to really who you are and what you want? And the quality, you got to look at it like this: you know, quality over quantity all day.
oh
You just
yeah,
It just takes one person that you just can't wait to wake up, and you can't wait to go to sleep. You're going to sleep next to them. You're cooking dinner with them. You're enjoying your life. Having a good woman in your life brings a sense of development and excitement and achievement
yeah.
and contentment and supplement and engagement and enhancement. And so, what I always say to men, I say, listen, without having a good woman in your life, part of you is deceased. So that's
Yeah,
what that just spelled out. That was an acronym for that.
that's pretty good. I like it.
Thanks.
So, I mean, it's a great point, and it is definitely deceased, and you have to kind of you get reinvigorated, especially when you meet a true partner. I think
Oh
you
yeah.
you can accomplish so many things, even that you maybe have been scared to do or have never thought you could do. Right?
Oh yeah.
With a
Having
true
somebody
partner.
who's going to be in your corner, who's your cheerleader, who's
Yeah.
rooting you on, who believes in you more than you believe in yourself. Because often life hits us, right? And after life hits us, then what? We need somebody who's believing in us and just wanting the best for us as well.
Yeah,
So
and you
that's
can.
really why I find it to be so important to meet somebody, meet them where they are in their life. And do
Right.
you accept them where they're at in their life?
Yeah.
Not,
And you can help each other be better.
then just say next. You
Yeah.
don't often, yeah, I will tell you, Brad, often people they get to a point where they'll see a red flag. And you know what? It's happened to me many a times. I've seen a red flag, but because I had an emotional connection to this person or a physical connection,
Right.
I choose to make that red flag yellow and just kind of keep trying to essentially
Proceed with
pacify
caution.
time.
Right.
And the only thing you're doing is you're just hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're seeing something that's red flags that you would never ever accept, but because you have this emotional connection to this idea of what you want something to be, because you remembered what it was like being single and alone,
Right.
you chose to just accept it. Sometimes you end up accepting less than. And my mom's told me for years, you know, you accept less than, you always get less than. You decide that what your worth is. You choose what your worth is, and you stick to what your worth is. And
That's
that's what I want to
exactly
say to all
correct.
women. Like, raise the bar,
You have a
continually raise
smart
the bar.
mother.
I'd watch Love Connection, and then after it was That's Amore. And then in my teens, that show came on MTV. Jenny
Studs
McCarthy,
and yeah.
Singled Out. It was Singled Out, and I was like, I'm going to be a host of Singled Out someday. And then that's it. I looked up.
I auditioned to be a host of Singled Out.
Did you really?
Did, yeah. Bunch of MTV stuff. So let me ask you, Lindsay, what are your 5 truths to love?
So I feel as though you're talking about the 5 love languages from
There
Gary
you
Chapman.
go. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. I'm just reinventing the name for you.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Thank you. So you've got quality time. You've got physical touch. You've got acts of services. You've got receiving gifts. And the interesting thing about this is you could feel like you're doing everything right in your relationship, but if you don't have the love languages down, it's almost like you're speaking a different language to somebody. So if somebody was trying to talk to me in Mandarin, I wouldn't understand it.
Right.
It wouldn't I wouldn't be able to reciprocate. But if I knew where my partner's love language was, maybe my partner, it's important to them that while they're cooking dinner, I'm loading the dishwasher, I'm rubbing their back, and I'm putting my phone away, and I'm giving them that one-on-one quality time and giving them that physical touch.
Yeah.
So a man will go so much further and do so much more for you if he feels like he's appreciated.
Yes.
You guys are very simple creatures, very easy. Okay. So if a man feels appreciated and valued, he will do so much more for you women. He will help raise you up to what it is you want to be doing.
So that's great. And I love what you're saying, because so we're going to spin this back into real estate. So agents, new agents and successful agents, whoever is listening to this podcast, listen to what Lindsay's saying. So when we are attentive and responsive to our mates, we live a happier, healthier life, which will then turn around and make us better in every asset and every facet of our lives. Every facet of our lives, we will gain more assets. We will gain more homes. We will have a better life. We will be more in love and more in tune with who we are. What else, Lindsay? So you talked about those, a couple of those. What's your favorite love language?
Physical touch.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. I'm not somebody who I can get my own gifts, right? So don't show me you love me by getting me something, because I can get my own things. I don't need for that. But somebody who's going to physical touch in quality time, you're going to put aside, because it's the one thing in life we can't make more of. We only have this amount of time that we have. And when somebody chooses to give you their time, they're choosing to give you something that we don't get back.
That's wonderful. I often feel I don't, give enough personal touch, and I'm really good with gifts, but I think the best gift I could probably give is myself, right?
Yeah.
And so let me ask you, Lindsay, do you have rates, or do you have plan packages? How does someone use your services?
So that's a great question. What we do is we do have different packages, and anybody that wants to reach out to me, you're welcome to go to a few of my different sites. You can find me at lovepotionagency.com. You can also find me at datetubelive.com. You can reach me at 913-952-2348.
Okay.
You can also reach me at datetubelive.com.
So that's DateTube Live or DTube?
DateTube. DateTube Live. Essentially, think of YouTube, but think of the dating version of YouTube.
DateTubeLive.com.
DateTubeLive.com.
Excellent.
Lindsay, and you could also reach me at Love Potion Agency.
And Love Potion Agency, is that a .com as well?
No, it's lovepotion.agency. Sorry.
Lovepotion.agency. Lindsay, you've been a fantastic guest, and I appreciate you being here today. And tell all my listeners out there, if you're looking for love, get a hold of Lindsay. She'll hook you up. You'll find your mate that you've been looking for your whole life. And to all of my listeners out there, remember, if you'd like to get a coaching, go to my website at www.atrepodcast.com. Download today my 5 free secrets on how to become successful today. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.